everybody. My name is Eric D. Johnson, also on the BrightShine right here in the city of Memphis in the county sheriff state of Tennessee. Day is early Sunday morning, August the 16th, 2020, time 5:45 a.m. Firstly, thank all my family support for your continued current support. Continue to keep myself employed right now in the Memphis Tri-State area. I'll continue to further my education from Monroe College online. Continue to pursue my social media. Studying being administrative, concentrating marketing, spending time, take a break and going to school in the very near future. I will be going back to Monroe College online to continue to pursue my social media, studying being administrative, concentrating marketing. Anti-gang. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to to make anti-gang logo. Remember these words: coerce, sexual coercion, psychological coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. And always put God first. You know, we always give thanks to God for all the blessings and guidance that He provides us all with. And always put God first. And on today's video, I'm going to continue to be an advocate for Mr. Sam Cooke. And I'm going to continue to protest and speak out the injustice that has been done in the courtroom. The unjustifiable murder of Mr. Sam Cooke. Now I'm not going to spend too much time because I'm going to do my Instagram about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to go straight to my Periscope so I can spend more time on Mr. Sam Cooke's murder case. Now I purchased Mr. Sam Cooke's autopsy report, which is the coroner's report. That is the state Supreme Court, the state of California, the court from the state of California. And for $25, I purchased Mr. Sam Cooke's autopsy, which is the coroner's report. Like I said, that is the official court document, and that is state Supreme Court, and for $25 from Celebrity Archive. Like I said, this is the verdict of the coroner's jury, the state of California, the county of Los Angeles, in the matter of the inquisition upon the body of Sam Cooke, deceased, before the coroner of the county of Los Angeles. We, the jury, summoned to appear before the coroner of Los Angeles County at room 150, Hall of Justice, Los Angeles, California, on the 16th day of December 18, 1964, to inquire into the cause of death of Sam Cooke. Having been duly sworn according to law and having made such inquisition and hearing the testimony adduced upon our oaths, each and all do say that we find that the deceased was named Sam Cooke, a male married, native of Mississippi, aged about 33 years, and that he came to his death on the 11th day of December 1964 at 9137 South Figueroa Avenue, Los Angeles, Los Angeles County, California, and that this death was caused by a gunshot wound to the chest, perforating the heart in both lungs, with massive hemorrhage inflicted by a gun in the hands of Bertha Franklin at night, 9137 South Figueroa Avenue, Los Angeles, California, after the deceased had made forcible entry from the testimony introduced. At this time, we find this death to be justified by homicide committed by the said Bertha Franklin, protecting her life and property. All of which duly certified by this inquisition in writing by us, signed this 16th day of December 1964. Now, based on the information that's provided in the coroner's inquest, because the coroner questioned Bertha Lee Franklin, Eliza Bozer, and so on and so forth, the police officers, and after the murder and everything, and based on my going through this information, these court documents, it was first degree murder. It was first degree murder, and that the court made a ruling. It was an unjust ruling. There's no such thing as kicking Mr. Sam Cooke. There's no such thing as pushing Mr. Sam Cooke down. There's no such thing as you running and going and grab a gun that you already know you had and shooting Mr. Sam Cooke. There's no such thing. This nowhere in the United States of America, no state in the United States of America can you commit that type of crime. And Mr. Sam Cooke is a celebrity. And as if you can get away for violating his constitutional rights. And it's very, this is one of those, during that period of time, during the 1960s and early 1960s, we had this situation in the United States of America where this country was still trying to undo all this systemic racism, prejudice, bigotry, and the oppression of groups of people from sub-Saharan Africa, by other groups of people on this earth. And so now Mr. Joel Barilla was representing the district. He used to represent the district attorney, and Mr. Maycheck, the attorney, was representing Miss Barbara Campbell Cook, who at the time was the wife of Mr. Sam Cook, who is now Mr. Sam Cook has been murdered. He was murdered, and he's a widow now. But and that was wrong. And Mr. Sam Cook and his wife, Miss Barbara Campbell Cook, at the time had two beautiful daughters who were little girls at the time, Miss Linda and Tracy, as well as Mr. Sam Cook's mother and father, who was still alive at the time, living in Chicago. Mr. Sam Cook's sister and brothers, and Mr. Sam Cook's nieces and nephews, Mr. Sam Cook's other children as well. Mr. Sam Cook now is a grandfather, Miss Barbara Campbell Cook is a grandmother, and so on. It was unjust murder. It was first degree murder. And Miss Barbara Campbell Cook, talking about it was a ruling they had to pay some kind of trying to claim that because Mr. Sam Cook ain't committing no, talking about she got to pay some kind of law. No, it's the other way around. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell, get to straight. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cook a lot of money. See, it is wrong. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cook a lot of money. You owe Miss Sam Cook's children and grandchildren need a lot of money. A lot of money. Now let's go to Instagram. And after I do my Instagram, I'm gonna do Periscope. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Jones, also known BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis, in the county, Sheridan State, Tennessee. Today is early Sunday morning, August the 16th, 2020, time 6:02 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for your continued courage support. Anti-gang, anti-gang. These are just a few of the free logo designs and website you can go to make anti-gang logo. Remember these words: coercion, sexual coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. First, always give thanks to God for all the blessings and the guidance He provides us. Always put God first. Always. Now, doing my Instagram video. Now, I'm going to continue to be an advocate for Mr. Sam Cooke. Mr. Sam Cooke, who was unjustly murdered by a criminal named Bertha Lee Franklin. And there were some criminals in the courtroom who ruled that it was a justifiable homicide. Now, I purchased a copy of Mr. Sam Cooke's autopsy, which is the coroner's report. That is the state of California. That's the court, official court documents. And for $25 from Celebrity Archive, I purchased a copy of Mr. Sam Cooke's autopsy, which is the coroner's report. And in that report, it gives you the testimony at the coroner's inquest. And Bertha Lee Franklin, Liza Bowles, criminals, Evelyn Card, criminal, people in the courtroom, criminals, the jury, criminals, and they they ruled that Mr. Sam Cooke's murder a justifiable homicide. Well, when I got a copy of Mr. Sam Cooke's autopsy, which is the coroner's report. And like I said, I've been going through the pages and the testimony. It's first degree murder. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cooke a lot of money. Get straight to the point. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cooke a lot of money. You try to tell Miss Barbara Campbell Cooke that talking about some lawsuit or something like that. Well, you owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cooke some money, a lot of money. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cooke a lot of money. Mr. Sam Cooke, 2 beautiful daughters, and Miss Barbara Campbell Cooke's 2 beautiful daughters with Mr. Sam Cooke. You owe Linda and Trace a lot of money. Get straight to the point. You owe Linda and Trace a lot of money. Simple as that. Simple, straight to the point. Simple as that. There ain't no need to be worried about going to court. Mr. Sam Cooke hadn't did anything wrong of that nature. Based on testimony, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Mr. Sam Cooke ain't committed no first degree murder. Talking about some forcible injury. Talking about he broke down the door. You owe Mr. Sam Cooke a lot of, Miss Barbara Campbell Cooke a lot of money. Simple as that. like like I said, these are official court documents. These are official court documents, like from Celebrity Archive for $25. These are official court documents. Mr. Sam Cooke's murder, the autopsy, the coroner's report, which is the court, the state of California. These are official court documents. Now, this is the verdict of the coroner's jury, state of California, county of Los Angeles. In the matter of the inquisition upon the body of Sam Cooke, deceased, before the coroner of the county of Los Angeles, we, the jury, summoned to appear before the coroner of Los Angeles County at room 150, Hall of Justice, Los Angeles, California, on the 16th day of December 18, 1964, to inquire into the cause of death of Sam Cooke, having been duly sworn according to law and having made such inquisition hearing the testimony adduced upon our oaths, each and all do say that we find that the deceased was named Sam Cooke, a male married, native of Mississippi, aged about 33 years, and that he came to his death on the 11th day of December 1964, 9137 South Figueroa Avenue, Los Angeles County, California, that this death was caused by a gunshot wound which had perforated heart and both lungs with massive hemorrhage inflicted by a gun in the hand of Roberta Franklin at 9137 South Figueroa Avenue, Los Angeles, California. After the deceased had made forcible entry from the testimony introduced at this time, we find the death to be justifiable homicide committed by the said Brother Franklin, protection of life and property, all which we duly certified by this image and right by us this day, 16th day, December 1964. And as you know, the ruling that this so-called jury made at the coroner's inquest was wrong. It was wrong. It was wrong. They didn't know what they were talking about. It was wrong. And what the people in the courtroom did, that the judge, the district attorney, Mr. Barilla, and at the time, Ms. Barbara Campbell Cook, was represented by Mr. Maycheck, insufficient effective assistant accountant, and some more things, the Board of Professional Responsibility and the Bar Association. You're going to hear about this. Oh, yeah. It ain't over. And like I said, get straight to the point. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cook a whole lot of money. A whole lot of money. SAR records. You gonna sit up there and try to tell SAR records, talking about you shot, talking about you kicked Sam Cooke, and you pushed Sam Cooke down, and then you ran and grabbed a gun and shot Sam Cooke. You got your damn mind. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cook a lot of money, as well as their two beautiful daughters, Linda and Tracy, as well as Miss Sam Cooke's other children, all the grandchildren. Mr. Sam, at the time Mr. Sam Cooke's death, his mother and father was still alive. All his sisters and brothers, all his nieces and nephews. It was an unjustifiable murder. It was first degree murder. First degree murder. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cook a lot of money. Simple deal, straight to the point. The state Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals, now I'm gonna get ready to end my Instagram video, and now let me say this. I know that I'm not spending as much time on my Instagram video like I have in the past. I know the East Coast bitch, you ain't getting away. Your ass ain't getting away. So while I'm working on Mr. Sam Cooke's murder case, you better not be walking your ass around thinking you're getting away, because I'm finna do my Periscope video. And like I've been telling you, I'm gonna keep on saying, oh, your ass ain't getting away. Your ass ain't getting away. You better not be walking your ass around thinking you're getting away. Talking about you trying to claim the whole damn East Coast. all the way down from the state of Maine all the way down to the state of Florida, talking about cult literature. I'm walking on these streets. I'm walking around on these streets. I ain't going no damn well. I'm walking on these goddamn streets. Talking about some damn blood gang, crip gang. Some bloodstone, building limestone. I'm walking on these goddamn streets. I ain't going no goddamn well. Put that in your goddamn pipe and smoke it. Goddamn, I don't give a damn about you. Bunch of coward ass bitches. Crybaby ass bitches. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to. My anti-gang logo. United States Department of Justice ain't tell no damn sorority and no fraternity to walk their ass around on the street and negatively influence the general public. You don't see nobody in the United States Justice Department riding around no damn license plate with no Greek letters. Nobody at the United States Department just attending your ass to walk around and in the general public negatively influence the people. Talk about, oh, I'm in a sorority fraternity. Listen to what I say. I know what I'm talking about. I've been to college. I got a bachelor's degree. I got a PhD. Listen to what I say. The Constitution said you got freedom of speech and you got freedom of expression. You got freedom of assembly. The United States Department just ain't told nobody on those in the general public to use no occult literature to claim any parts of the United States of America, U.S. territory, and that includes the United Nations. The United Nations, they ain't tell you nothing like that. You just be going around lying, and you're gonna get your damn ass killed. You're gonna get your ass killed. See, you go around instigating and provoking other people. East Coast bitch, you're gonna get your ass killed. You're gonna get your ass killed on these streets, I tell you. Doing background checks. So when you try to run and hide and think, I know where your ass at. Background check. I know where your goddamn ass at. Now, like I said, I'm finna end my Instagram video. I'm finna do my Periscope video. Like I always put God first. And always thank God for all the blessings God provides always.
I was almost done with my degree and I had to stop.
Now it's just the end of my Instagram video, so now what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna do my Periscope video. Like I say, excuse me, I just ended my Instagram video, so now I'm finna start my Periscope video. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known by BrightShine, right here in the city representing the county, city, state of Tennessee. Today's date is early, Sunday morning, August the 16th, 2020, time 6:20 a.m. First, I thank all my family support for your continued courage support. Anti-gang, anti-gang. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites. You can go to the main anti-gang logo. And remember these words: coercion, sexual coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. Now I just ended my Instagram video. Now my YouTube channel is recorded. So like I say, I'm doing my Periscope video. I'm going to continue to be an advocate for Mr. Sam Cooke. I'm going to continue to protest and speak out the unjust murder of Mr. Sam Cooke and the unjust ruling that was made by some criminals in a courtroom in relation to Mr. Sam Cooke's murder. At the time, Mr. Sam Cooke was married to his wife, Miss Barbara Campbell Cooke, and their two beautiful daughters, who at the time were little children, two little girls, Linda and Tracy, and who are now adults now. And Mr. Sam Cooke at the time of his murder, his mother and father were still alive. His sisters and brothers, all his nieces and nephews, and as well as all Mr. Sam Cooke's children. Mr. Sam Cooke's a grandfather, Miss Barbara Campbell Cooke is a grandmother, and the grandchildren, you understand. Mr. Sam Cooke's friends, like Mr. Lou Rawls, from Chicago, and the Highway QCs, Mr. Spencer Taylor, and from the Highway QCs, and all the Soul Stirrers, you understand, and Saw Records, and like I say, Mr. Sam Cooke's friends, family and friends. It was an unjust murder by a criminal, Bertha Lee Franklin. It was an unjust ruling by the people in the courtroom. Criminals. They all criminals. And that woman, what's her name? Not only Bertha Lee Franklin that Eliza Bowles, but that Evelyn Carr woman. And like I said, it was an unjust ruling. To get straight to the point, what you try to tell Miss Barbara Campbell Cooke she owes some money, and all. It's the other way around. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cooke a lot of money. That's the reason why I had to get a copy of Mr. Sam Cooke's autopsy, the coroner's report, because the testimony, the circumstances of the murder, the first degree murder. It ain't nowhere in the United States of America that you can, based on the circumstances, you can kick Mr. Sam Cooke. You can push Mr. Sam Cooke down and run and grab a gun and shoot Mr. Sam Cooke. Nowhere in the United States of America, U.S. territory, you can't do that. Now, some criminals, just like a criminal shot Mr. Sam Cooke, and then there was a criminal who was the boss of this so-called criminal who claimed that she was a manager. She was unqualified. That makes a big difference in the courtroom. Unqualified manager. You know, you have to have qualifications. Over there at the United States Justice Department, they know what it means when you say you're a manager. whatever qualifications that you have to meet. You know what I'm saying? It's just like being over there at the Holiday Inn and the Hilton, talking about you the manager for the Holiday Inn or the Hilton Hotel, or you a manager period over at McDonald's, at a fast food restaurant. I guarantee Bertha Lee Franklin wouldn't qualify at McDonald's. I guarantee you won't qualify. See, you can start out at the fries and move up to the from the fries, frying fries, and then you can become a manager like that. But we talking about the manager of the store, of the franchise there. So you gotta have a college degree. Talking about you the manager of 7-Eleven. But I mean, you might have worked at 7-Eleven for 10 years. Started out as a cashier, and then you became the manager. You know, you became a manager that way. But I guarantee you, when you got trained for that position, it was a person with a degree who trained you. See, there again, that's the same thing with Bertha Lee Franklin. You weren't qualified. You don't have no degree. So you ain't know what you was talking about. So it ain't nothing that Miss Barbara Campbell Cook got to never worry about in no courtroom. And Lyndon Tracy ain't got to worry about no Bertha Lee Franklin talking about you don't manage, you ain't qualified. You don't have no degree. You don't have no bachelor degree, no master degree, no PhD. And then we got to deal with this, the people that own that motel. Well, that's the same thing. I mean, you might own it. It's been said time and time again in business school. There's a whole lot of people started businesses who didn't have a liquor education, who didn't have no education, but they started some kind of restaurant, you know, some kind of auto mechanic shop, sell what they call it, self-owned businesses, small businesses. They've been said in business schools for years. They've been talking about that for years. People who didn't even make it out of daycare will start their own, self-employed. And small business. You ain't qualified. So like I say, spend a little more time on Periscope and get into the detail of Mr. Sam Cook's murder. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cook a lot of money. And the state Supreme Court, as you know, the whole court, the criminal court of appeal, it was ineffective assistant counsel. Mr. McChicken and some more things that were going to be raised, going to be brought up. But a lot of things, once I got my hands on a copy of the gun, you ain't got to worry about Eliza Bowles. I already did something about that. You ain't got to worry about that. And but to be honest, we straight to the point. Miss Barbara Campbell Cook and Lyndon Tracy, you ain't got no business sitting around worried about what the court gonna say. Like they gonna tell you, like we gonna, it's saw records. Shit, you're a damn lie. There ain't nowhere in the United States of America, U.S. territory, you gonna commit a crime like that. That's another crime that's been committed. Talking about a rude. They ain't gonna try to tell Miss Barbara Campbell Cook you gonna pay something. Hell no. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cook a lot of money, and she ain't got no reason to worry about the court anymore. First degree murder. First degree murder. You ain't got to worry. The criminals gonna keep on trying to commit the same goddamn crime. It's gonna still mean the same thing. You a bunch of goddamn criminals. But I guarantee you one thing. You gonna pay Miss Barbara Campbell Cook with your and Mr. Sam Cook gonna get justice in the courtroom. That's a guarantee. That's a guarantee. Now, as you know, this the verdict of the coroner's jury, the state of California, the county of Louisiana, in the matter of the inquisition upon the body of Sam Cooke, deceased before the coroner of the county of Louisiana, read the jury summoned to appear before the coroner of Louisiana County, room 150, Hall of Justice, Los Angeles, California, on the 16th day of December, AD 1964, to inquire into the cause of the death of Sam Cooke, having been duly sworn according to law and having made such inquisition, hearing the testimony adduced upon our oaths, each and all do say that we find that the deceased was named Sam Cooke, a male married native of Mississippi, aged about 33 years, that he came to his death on the 11th day of December 1964 at 9137 South Figueroa Avenue, Los Angeles County, California. That this death was caused by a gunshot wound to the chest, perforating the heart and both lungs, with massive hemorrhage inflicted by a gun in the hands of Burger Franklin at 9137 South Figueroa Avenue, Los Angeles, California, after the deceased had made forcible entry. And from the testimony introduced at this time, we find this death to be justified homicide committed by the said Bertha Franklin, imputation of life and property, and all of which we duly certified by this inquisition right by the sign this 16th day of December 1964. Now, as you know, representing on this court case was Mr. Joey Alvarilla. He was the representing district attorney, and Mr. Maychick was the attorney representing Miss Barbara Campbell Cook at the time, the wife of the deceased. Ineffective assistant and counsel. And the Board of Professional Responsibility, the Bar Association. No, hell no. Now, this is a map of all the people on the earth. And this is the Albanian language map. This is a Baltic language map. And this is a Greek language map. And this is a Slavic language map. This is the Altaic language map. And this is the Euro-Altaic language map. And this is a Romanian language map. the Romanian language is a Latin Romance language, and Romania and the Romanian language known as Wallachia. And this is a language. This is a map of the languages of Africa. And this is a map of the languages of Africa. And this is the map of the languages of Africa. And this is an Afro-Asiatic language distribution map. And this is the Afro-Asiatic language distribution map. And this is the Nilo-Saharan language distribution map. And this is the Nilo-Saharan language distribution map. This is the Niger-Congo language distribution map. And this is the Niger-Congo language distribution map. Now the title of this book is West African Traditional Religion, written by Dr. Joseph Mercedes Walino and Dr. P. Adalumo de Pemu. And the title of this book is African Traditional Religion, definition written by Dr. E. Panoja Idowu. And the title of this book is African Religion and Philosophy, written by Dr. John S.M.B. And the title of the book is Concepts of God and Africa, written by Dr. John S.M.B. Now, Webster's Third New International Dictionary gives you the complete and total definition and meaning of the word gang. The act, manner, means of going. Now, that stupid sorority and that stupid fraternity, the East Coast bitch, trying to claim the whole damn East Coast from the state of Maine all the way down to the state of Florida, using that occult literature. Well, I'm walking around on these goddamn streets, and I don't give a damn about no East Coast bitch, no sorority and fraternity, or anything like that. The United States Department of Justice, they ain't tell you that. They didn't tell you that. They ain't tell nobody to be walking your ass around on the street, going around the general public, trying to tell other people you went to college, you got a bachelor's, PhD, and you a member of a sorority and fraternity, and that's my right. I got right. The United States come to tell me I got the right to freedom of assembly, I got freedom of speech, and I got freedom of expression. Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: a whole lot of people got the right to bear arms. They've been having this issue for many years, and a whole lot of people got what they call it, what they conceal. Now in today's society, they got a gun permit, but not just a gun permit, but they got a right to carry a firearm, a concealed weapon. They got a license to carry a concealed weapon for self-defense. For self-defense. And the Department of Justice, they know, because of Homeland Security, before you can buy a firearm today, they do background checks. They do background checks, and they know who has a concealed weapon in every damn state. Homeland Security can do a background check, and all these people that have been convicted of a felony, they know that if you even attempt to apply to purchase a firearm anywhere in the United States of America, U.S. territory, Homeland Security will find out about it. Oh, they're going to find out about it. You're a convicted felon. You cannot purchase a firearm legally. Now, you can go in the back alley somewhere and buy you a firearm. Now, illegally. But legally, we talking about legally the law, where you can lawfully say that I have the right to own this firearm and keep this firearm, and I also had this concealed weapon license to carry a concealed weapon to shoot the sorority and fraternity out on the street. That's what you should do. Cause I mean, the Justice Department ain't tell you not to, because they go around trying to intimidate and provoke other citizens with this occult literature, even when you be on your job. You understand? See, all that damn lying you be doing, gonna get your ass killed. Gonna get your ass killed on these streets. I'm telling you, a bunch of coward ass bitches gonna get your ass killed. Nobody at the United States Justice Department tell you that. See, the people at the Justice Department, they've been to college too. They've been to college too. They got bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD. The people in management, being more specific, people in management, just like over there at the EEO, the Equal Employment Office, the managers, the people in management. You gotta have a bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD over there at Homeland Security. Ain't no damn way in hell you gonna be talking about over there at the Homeland Security. You ain't got no bachelor's degree, no master's degree, no PhD, and they gotta do background check. Hell no. Ain't nobody in the Justice Department over at the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. They ain't telling you that. Nobody at the FBI told you that. That's what a bunch of criminals do. And you're gonna get your goddamn ass killed on these streets. I know damn well when I'm walking around on these damn streets, I'm not getting no damn ass no free ride. I'm not getting no free ride. I'll be walking around mad all goddamn day. And 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days. Oxford English Dictionary gives you a complete and total definition meaning of the word gang, action or mode of going, way, passing, a set of things or person. They're stupid sorority, they're stupid, and they call themselves sister and brother in Latin. You ain't no damn about it. The Organized Crime Control Act of 1970. Title 9 of the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970 is directed to influence and corrupt organizations, and the RICO Act is anti-gang. Now, the United States government acted also the Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention Control Act 1970, the Control Substance Act, the Psychotropic Substances Act, the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Act, the Kingpin Act. Is all anti-gang. The Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act of 1974 established the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, as well as other related legislation. That is the Department of Justice. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, it be the people in management in the Department of Justice. They have a bachelor, master, PhD. They're not telling you to do something illegal like that. The Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, and the Comprehensive Gang Model, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the Office of Justice Program, and the United States Department of Justice. You see all them departments. You see all the men and women with a bachelor degree, master degree, PhD. The Bureau of Justice Assistance, the Bureau of Justice Program, the Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the United States Department of Justice, Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative Project Safe Neighborhoods, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Community Oriented Police Service, Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the International Narcotics Law Firm Affairs, the United States Department of State, the Institute for Intergovernmental Affairs, Gang Resistant Education and Training, the GREAT Program. I don't know who the hell the sorority fraternity think you're supposed to be. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, October 2009, the National Youth Gang Center, which has been funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention since 1995, merged with the National Gang Center, which has been funded by the Bureau of Justice since 2003. The National Gang Center. The National Gang Center, people with the bachelor degree, master degree, PhD in management. The compilation of state laws against gang. Every state got laws against gang. Every state. Gang Prevention Overview Research Program is a giant how Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice System, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, the National Gang Center Bullets, and the title of book, The History of Street Gangs in the United States. You can also go to the quick reference Wikipedia. You can find same information titled Gangs in the United States. The United States Department of Justice, Office of the United States Attorney, Man 1457, Colonel Street, Gang Stand 18, United States 0521. The United States Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, National Gang Intelligence Center. The United States Department of Justice, the Organized Crime and Gang Section. We have other federal, state, and local agencies. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, Anti-Gang Strategies, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, Suppression. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, the United States Department of Human Research, Center for Disease Control, Prevention, National Center for Injury Prevention and Control, the changing course, preventing gang membership, and also striving to reduce youth violence everywhere. So you gonna get your goddamn ass killed on these streets. I'm telling you, I'm walking around. I'm telling you. See, this is the reason why I do the things I do. The United States Department of Justice, the United States Department of Education, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, the United States Department of Labor, and the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, National Forum of Youth Violence Prevention Forum. You can go to youth.gov, be informed about the National Forum of Youth Violence Prevention Forum, as well as the comprehensive anti-gang laws, comprehensive gang law. The United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, keeping kids out of gangs. And also the United States Department of Justice. Hazing is a crime. You can go to lawyers.com, be informed about anti-hazing. Now, you have street slang words. For example, gang plus stir, mob plus stir. You know, you can go to Merriam-Webster Third New International Dictionary, and you can also go to Oxford English Dictionary and get the complete total definition meaning of the word gang plus stir, mob plus stir. You have other street slang: boss, goon, thug, crook, hooligan, Mac, player, pimp, whore, hustler, nigga, field nigga, house nigga, and street slang. You have street slang for music: hip hop, rock and roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, doo-wop, bebop. Street slang. You have street slang for money: currency exchange, bucks, rack, stack, band, bread, dough, scratch, loop, moolah, bend, dead president. It's street slang. Nothing official, ain't nothing right about no street slang. Now, this so-called sorority and fraternity, calling themselves sister and brother in Latin. I just showed you the United States Department of Justice. The United States Department of Justice. Hazing is a crime. The so-called sorority and fraternity, they use hazing in the initiation ritual. It's a crime. In those initiation rituals, it's the occult. The sorority and fraternity been using that occult literature from ancient times. They don't know what they're talking about. See, over there at the United Nations, all the people on the earth are members of the United Nations. And you ain't saying nothing nobody know about on this earth. And nobody at the United Nations telling you, or anybody on this earth, to listen to no ancient occult literature. They ain't tell you that. But see, that's what criminals do. Now, the sorority fraternity, they commit crime on and off the campus. They use and abuse tobacco products. They indulge in gambling, game chat. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. They indulge in immoral activity. They indulge in sexual deviance and depravity. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity trying to tell you out on these streets. They've been to college and they got a bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD in the United States Constitution. Say I got freedom of assembly, I got freedom of speech, I got freedom of expression. Over there at the United States Department of Justice, they know way more than the alumni, the sorority fraternity alumni. Over there at the United States Department of Justice, they got way more people with education at the United States Department of Justice. And over there at the United Nations, do you see all these organizations, the United Nations Water Foundation, the UNICEF, UNESCO, the United Nations got way more people walking around with education than the alumni in the sorority fraternity. They got way more people walking around all over the earth who got way more education than you criminals. Now, all those persons that initially started the sorority fraternity, renounce them and denounce the whole concept and idea of a sorority fraternity. Now, the sorority fraternity, you know, they work and they manage the businesses, companies, and corporations. They use and misuse the background check. They commit crimes against humanity, atrocities, violations of human rights, civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, and water, and noise pollution. They destroy the environment and wildlife. So don't be misled by the sorority fraternity telling you out on the street that they've been to college and they got a bachelor's, master's, PhD, and I have rights in the United States Constitution, freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Over there at the United States Department of Justice, the Constitution, the United States Constitution, there's way more people at the United States Department of Justice. They know about the Constitution than the alumni. Pre-13 colony history. Harvard University. You know, don't negate the pre-13 colony history, the history before the 13 colony. You know what I'm saying? Before people even know the history before. Now, Harvard University is the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States, founded March 13, 1639, came to Massachusetts. Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693, second oldest institution of higher learning in the United States of America. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December 5, 1717, the College of William Mary recognized as the first beloved student society. North American Alpha Delta Phi First Sorority, founded 1851, Wesleyan College, Jamaica, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority, Gamma Phi Beta, established on November 11, 1874, Syracuse University in Syracuse, New York. The first women's fraternity was at DuPont College, around 18-something. Now, the basis of the sorority fraternity is the old world secret society from Africa, from Asia, and from Europe. For example, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons. And they be talking about Euclid, the mathematician, lived in Alexandria, Egypt. 1390, 1425, mentioned in the Hollowell manuscript, the Reed's Point, the Cook manuscript, the Dallin manuscript. Now, examples of them old world secret society from Africa, from Asia, from Europe: Skull and Bone, Rosicrucian, the Sons of Liberty, Thug Society, the Pride Society of the Order of Templar Oriental, Knights of the Golden Eagle of Wood, the Ancient Arabic Order of the Nose of the Mist Shrine, the Approved Order of Red, the Pio Sisterhood, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons, the Elks, the Loyal Order of Moose, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Pathan, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Forest Society, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of the Bell Prophets of the Chanting Realm, the United Order of the Golden Cross, the United Ancient Order of Druids, the National Grand, the Ancient Order of Hermannans, the Opus Dei, the Knights Templar, the Scottish Rite, the Spanish Gardona, the Carbonari, the Black Hand. Now you say Mafia, that's Afro-Asiatic. You say Costa Nostra, that's Latin. The Triad, the Yakuza, the Osiris. Now, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights Frontline Defender, Human Rights Right Frontier, International for Human Rights, Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, Conservation Fund, Legal Conservation Board, Earth Watch Institute, Conservation Association, Earth Justice, Conservation Volunteer, the Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, the Biodiversity Nature Conservation Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, the Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Company, Conservation Organization, Rainforest Alliance, Rainforest Action Network, Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society, the Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, Ocean Preservation Society, Ocean Society, Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. This is the International Bill of Human Rights. Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. The Declaration of the Rights of the Child. The United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. The world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. The International Federation for Human Rights. The world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. Fauna and Flora International was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. The world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, also the World Wildlife Fund. Now, the Catholic Church and all their particular churches, they be using that occult literature. See, that's the reason why all these celebrity athletes, celebrity entertainers, see, that's where they go, because of that occult literature. And see, that's why all this so-called blood gang, crip gang, all that bloodstone, their limestone, see, that was them celebrity athletes, celebrity entertainers, they try to promote this, because see, the celebrity athletes, they went to college, they joined the sorority and fraternity. And then out here on the street, they be going around the general public, negatively influence the general public. Like I told you, the United States Department of Justice, people got way more education than you got. Over there at the United Nations, people all over the earth, they got way more education than you got. Got way more education than you got. You ain't know about it. You ain't no damn about it. That's wrong. And then the Catholic Church ain't right about nothing anyway. Talking about Saint Ignatius of Antioch. He wrote all them damn letters, and he wrote one of the letters he wrote to the Smyrnaeans. And you know, he wrote that phrase, Catholic Church, and as you know, later on, as you know, Saint Ignatius at the Roman Colosseum was eaten alive by lions. I mean, you know, sometimes I snicker in, but I mean, you know, that's what it means. Think about it. When they did at the Saint Ignatius, when the Romans did that, what they wanted you to do, they wanted you to laugh. It was entertainment to them. And I mean, then when you hear it, I mean, people be like, what the hell wrong with it? Ain't nothing wrong with it. When you hear somebody say something like that, do you honestly think somebody, when you say a nigga eaten by lions, you think it don't sound funny? It is, because that's what the Romans intended to do. They wanted to laugh at him, because that's the way people feel when you do something to them. They do something to you. That's the way they felt, and that's what they did to Saint Ignatius of Antioch. They throw his ass out there in the Roman Colosseum and let some lions loose in the arena, and the people were sitting in the Colosseum were laughing at him. Did you think anybody felt sorry for him? They put him in a Roman Colosseum in the arena with lions intentionally. That's what they intended to do. They were laughing at him being eaten by lions. And when you hear it, when people hear about it, do you honestly think a person would think it was kind of humorous when they first heard it? That's the reason why I intend to snicker about it, because I mean, to be honest, when I first heard about it, at first I singing this and you know, I would read and then later on, Saint Ignatius and the Roman Colosseum were eaten by lions. Alive. I'm like, anyway, man. The Protestant Reformation Movement Church, the 95 Thesis Church. You know that's the Catholic Church in all that particular church. It's no such thing. It's no such. They be using that occultism. Study the first century. That's the Catholic Church. That's who started. It was the Catholic Church. And there again, they be using that occultism and all these celebrity athletes, celebrity entertainers. That's where they be going. Because of that occultism. It's wrong. It's wrong, man. It's wrong. It ain't right. And this is the American Restoration Movement, the Stone Camel Movement. They did a secret handshake, Stone and Camel. But you know that in the so-called Church of Christ, there's no such thing. No such thing. See, that's what you need to understand by studying the Bible. First of all, who told you that the church that you read about in the book, in the New Testament, who told you that church was gone? See, when we as people, this is the honest truth that even at the United Nations have, based on interpretation of the Bible. Every human being on this earth is considered to be a child of God. Now, this is what the interpretation of the Holy Bible, this is the truth. The Holy Bible, Jesus Christ told his apostles to go to all people on this earth. Yes, he did. In the book of Matthew, at the end of the book of Matthew, what did Jesus Christ tell his apostles? He told them, he gave them a commission. Go to all nations on the earth and baptize them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That's the answer. Ain't no need for you to argue. Now, you might not, people all over the world, the Hindus and the Buddhists and the Lamas and all that, the Shintoists and all that. But based on the interpretation of the Holy Bible, every human being on this earth is considered to be a child of God. Is a creature who was created by God, including the devil and all his angels, created by God. That's the interpretation of the Holy Bible. And the church, who is the church? According to the interpretation of the Holy Bible, over there at the United Nations, every human being on this earth is the church. Now, you might not be living according to your life, your everyday life. You might not be living according to God's word. And then you commit sin. You commit sin. Then that's the answer. You're a sinner. You being sinful. That's straight to the point. You being sinful. You're sinful. You committing sin. That's the interpretation of the Holy Bible. So when it comes to the church, every human being on this earth, you is the church. You regard how you live your life. All them people over there, Catholic Church, and all that particular church, it's not the Catholic Church, it's the church. You being a sinful. You're a sinful. You committing sin. All them Protestant Reformation movement, 95 Thesis Church, there's no such thing. See, the church didn't go nowhere. When you read about persecution of the church in the Holy Bible, the people who were doing all that persecution, they were sinful. They were sinners. They were committing sin. You should have been listening to the apostle yourself. You supposed to have been in the same service with the people who you was persecuting. That's the interpretation of the Holy Bible. That's the interpretation of the Holy Bible. The persecutors and the persecuted. In God's eyes, what's the difference? There ain't no difference. Now your actions and how you live your life, that's a difference. But in God's eye, we all his creatures. We all here, the persecutor and the persecuted. We all are created by God. The people who be doing the persecuting, you supposed to be doing the same thing that the people who were persecuted were doing. Being there, listening to the apostles. Straight to the point. So don't get it, don't try to make it sound like you doing something right now. You a sinner. You being sinful. Sin. You commit sin. You ain't got no business telling you persecuting the church. You ain't got no business doing that. You ain't supposed to do that. You're supposed to be listening to the apostle. They were talking about Jesus Christ, the Son of God. He's the Lord and Savior of us all. Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul. He was a lying, murdering devil. He was the occultist. He said he wrote all those epistles in the New Testament. And the man-made religious organization, they used those epistles. This Saul from Tarsus, self-proclaimed Apostle Paul. Because that's what he is. He is self-proclaimed Paul. He never was and never, and he isn't an apostle. That's what the occultists do. They take what's in the Holy Bible. They take the truth and make it a lie. You're not no apostle. So he lied. He called himself an apostle. He was lying. That's what the occultists do. They lie. Now, an example is Romans chapter 16, verse 16. Salute one another and hope against the church. They put the suffix is. But Christ salutes you. Second Thessalonians, another example, 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 4. So that we ourselves glory you in the church with the subject is God for your patience, favor, all your persecution, tribulation that ye endure. See, this is wrong. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, what you doing going around talking about devil worship and Satan, what you doing there for? What you doing? Talking about you worshiping the devil. And talking about you a Satanist. You see how it's you see how I'm not no devil worshiper, I'm not no Satan. Then you got somebody, what's the difference? In God's eyes, the person that's a devil worshiper, a Satanist, and then you see me in God's eyes. Now you might not be calling yourself a devil worshiper or Satan, but you commit fornication, you commit adultery, you lie, you steal, you cheat. You're supposed to be listening to the apostle who was taught by Jesus Christ. And the person who be calling himself a devil worshiper or Satan, same thing, you a sinner. You need to repent of your sin. You're supposed to be taking the communion. See, there's no such thing as no devil worship. Nowhere in the Holy Bible do you see anybody worshiping the devil. Ain't no such thing, no Satanism. You made it up. That's that occult literature. That's that occult. It's religious persecution. Over there in the United Nations, that's what they call religious persecution. When you take the holy book and you desecrate the holy book of a group of people, that's religious persecution. Now the United States Department of Justice, they know what religious persecution means. And they're going to tell you the same thing. It's religious persecution, devil worship. It's Satanism. It's religious persecution. It's religious persecution. Now you think that the United States Supreme Court, you think them justices on the Supreme Court, when they hear devil worship, Satanism, you think they going to tell you that you got the right to do that? No, they not. No, they not. They know good and doggone well what they mean in the Holy Bible. They know what it means. Ain't nothing in the Constitution told you to say devil worship or Satanism. You don't have that right. Ain't nobody on the United States, ain't none of the Supreme Court judge gonna tell you. They ain't gonna never tell you that. Never. None of the Supreme Court judges will ever tell you that you got the right to say devil and worship and Satanism. No, you don't. They know where it come from. See, when you read the Holy Bible, it's religious persecution. Ain't nobody got the right to persecute anybody because of their faith. You don't have that. That's what it is. And the people at the United Nations, they're going to tell you the same thing. You don't have that right. There ain't going to never be a right that anybody on this earth going to persecute the church. Now you see the word cult at the top, the so-called sorority and the fraternity. Now they didn't, but see, that what it amounts to, based on the fact that the people in the sorority fraternity, they've been in the sorority fraternity for a long time, like 20 years. Now see, the new people come in and join the sorority fraternity, they treat the older members of the sorority fraternity like they know every damn thing. That's what a cult, that what an occult amounts to. Now, at the United States Department of Justice, and even over at the United Nations, they know what this is. They know what it is. That's that occult literature. When we be talking about them pirates and ancient people in the past, like Western esotericism, Western mystery tradition, Hermetism, Gnosticism, Neoplatonism, Rosicrucianism, Freemasonry, Eastern Star, the Age of Enlightenment, Spiritualism, Kabbalah. Now it's two words. Don't forget occult and arcane. You see macrocosm, esoteric. Now, Western mystery, Western esotericism, Western mystery tradition, Hermetism, Gnosticism, Neoplatonism, Rosicrucianism, the Freemason, the Eastern Star, the Age of Enlightenment, Spiritualism, Kabbalah, and look at those two words, occult and arcane, macrocosm, microcosm, exoteric. See, at the United States Department of Justice, they know what that is. That's that occult literature. And over at the United Nations, they know that. See, that what the criminals use. See, that what the sorority and the fraternity out on the street try to use to negatively influence the general public. See, that's what I keep telling you. You're gonna get your damn ass killed. You're gonna get your damn ass killed on these streets. Now look at the top, occult. And then you see the word arcane. Remember them two words. And then you see esoteric, spiritualism, theosophy, anthroposophic, hermetic order of the golden dawn, new age. And then you see all that occult side of the occult part. Look at the top, occult. Then you also see arcane, esoteric. You see spiritualism, theosophy, anthroposophic, hermetic order of the golden dawn, new age. And you see all that occult science and occult quality. See, over there, the United States Department of Justice, they know what that is. They know. Don't never think that the United States Department of Justice don't know. They know. They know way more than the sorority and fraternity. The alumni. They know. And over at the United Nations, they know way more than the sorority and fraternity. The alumni. Now this is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. For example, state names: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North, South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Then scroll all the way down to the bottom where you see also, and you'll see a list of place names of indigenous origin in America. Piracy and pirates. That'll call literature. That what they did, Western esotericism, Western mystery, Kabbalah, all that, theology, it's all that. That was the pirates and piracy. Now, the United States Department of Justice, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Release Prevention, the Bureau of Justice, the National Gang Center Bulletin, and the title of the book, The History of Street Gangs in the United States, written by Mr. James C. Howard and Mr. John P. Moore. Now you can find the same information on the quick reference on Wikipedia, and it'll be titled Gangs in the United States. we're going to continue our study of the first century. Continue to study the first century. Continue to study the first century. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, born, lived, crucified, resurrected, and after being resurrected, seen by the apostles. Seen by the apostles. And after being seen by the apostles, went back to heaven. The church established in the first century. Continue to study the first century. We're going to continue our study of ancient people in the Bible. The Amorites, they were Afro-Asiatic. The Egyptians, they were Afro-Asiatic. The Amalekites, they were supposed descendants of Esau. The Kenites, they were a nomadic tribe in the ancient Levant. And Moses' father-in-law was a Kenite. The Canaanites, ancient people. The Kenizzites, ancient people. Jupiter, father of the Israelite named Caleb, is called a Kenizzite. The Hittites, Indo-Europeans. The Perizzites, ancient people. Now the Rephaimites or the Rephaites, they were also known as Zamzumim, Emil, ancient people, considered to be giants. Canaan, Canaanites. Canaan, son of Ham, grandson of Noah. Canaanite, the ethnic catch-all term covering various indigenous populations, both settled and nomadic pastoral groups throughout southern Levant and Canaan. And then you also have the Hittites and the Horites, the Hurrians. Yeah, Girgasites. They were descendants of Canaan. Jebusites, Jebus. The Philistines, they're not Afro-Asiatic. And they have not been determined to be Indo-European. And then you had the Moabites, they were Afro-Asiatic. The Midianites, they were Afro-Asiatic. And the Ammonites, they were Afro-Asiatic. But see, when you read the Holy Bible, you turn to the Old Testament, to the 5 books of Moses. God already told you that that occult literature was wrong. See, all that stuff you be seeing people talking about some fortune tellers, some mediums, and when you read the Old Testament, the 5 books of Moses, every one of those things that you be talking about, fortune telling, reading tarot cards, mediums. God told you divination wrong, sorcery wrong, witchcraft wrong, but it be them other things, them words like medium, oracles. God told you don't, it's wrong. Fortune telling, wrong. Omens, wrong. God told you in the 5 books of Moses, it's wrong. It's wrong. Necromancer, talking to the dead, wrong. It's right there in front of it. Idol worship, wrong. Read the 5 books of Moses. I'm putting it in front of you. See, talking about looking up to the sky, talking about you won't worship the sun, moon, and the stars. Wrong. That occult literature is wrong. And God told you in the 10 Commandments, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. God told you in the 10 Commandments, God told you 5 times, I am the Lord, thy God. That's what make it wrong. God told you, I'm your God. And when you hear God tell you, I'm your God in the 10 Commandments, you don't have no choice, no decision in the matter. So listening to a man talking about some literature, you only listen to God. God told you, I am your God. You don't listen to nobody but me. It's wrong. And when God tell you don't listen to nobody but me, God tell you the answer between all that right and wrong is wrong. It's right to listen to God. It's wrong to listen to man. So we're going to go to the Holy Bible. The Old Testament, 5 books of Moses. We're going to go to the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. God told you 5 times, I am the Lord thy God. It's wrong. That occult literature, wrong. The 10 Commandments, right. Verse number 1. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thy God. That occult literature, wrong. The 10 Commandments, right. Which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them nor serve them, for I, the Lord, thy God. It's the second time. And my jealous God, giving the iniquity of the father upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord, thy God. That's the 3rd time. In vain. For the Lord will not hold him guilty that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord. 1, 2, 3. Thy God. That's the fourth time. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cow, nor thy stranger, and within thy gates. 4 and 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it unto thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God. That's the 5th time that the Lord has told you, I am the Lord thy God. That's how important it is. That occult literature is wrong. Thou gotta give it. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Verses 1 through 17, the 10 Commandments. That's right. That are called literature wrong. Now again, we're going to go to the Holy Bible, but this time we're going to go to the New Testament. That occult literature is wrong. The greatest commandment in the law. We're in the New Testament, the book of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Now, the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verses 35 through 40. The book of Mark, chapter 12, verses 28 through 31. And the book of Luke, chapter 10, verses 25 through 28. So we're going to go to the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verses 35 through 40. Again, that's the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verses 35 through 40. And that's the greatest commandment of the law. And it reads, Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, listen, pay attention. This is the same Jesus that was in the Old Testament. God. I am the Lord thy God. That was Jesus, and that was the Holy Ghost. The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. This is the New Testament. Jesus said to him, thou shalt love the Lord on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thy God. That occult literature is wrong. The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, right. They are all one. They the same. The Father, the Son, Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost, they the same. And they telling you the truth. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God. And when you hear Jesus say thy God, you don't have no choice, no decision in it. with all thy heart. Now, what does that mean? When you read your Old Testament, you read about the children of Israel who were in bondage. You believe that it's true. You know, some people want to say they can't find records of the Hebrews, and we're not certain. You know, talking about the scientific, the archaeologists, and they we can't find. We done dug all under the ground, and we don't have any scientific evidence of the Hebrew, the children of Israel. You understand? But see, what did Jesus say? Jesus said, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart. There's a lot of information in the Holy Bible that you don't have evidence of. There's a lot of information. You don't have no information on the serpent that you read about. Did you find any evidence that there was a serpent walking around this earth talking to Adam and Eve? Did you find any evidence? No. As of the day they did. It's a lot of information in the Bible you ain't find evidence of. Talking about digging in the ground. A lot of the people that were lost in the flood, I mean, we can go on and on. There's a lot of information you ain't find no evidence of. But then you did find later that there were a group of people that referred to as the children of Israel who were taken in bondage. You find evidence of the Jews. You find evidence of the Temple Mount in Israel today. You find evidence of a lot of people today and how they lived and how it got passed down from one generation to the next. Now it might not be written. You know, it's been said that you read about certain people in the Bible, like the Egyptians. But there's a lot of Afro-Asiatic people that you don't read about in the Bible. They're not even mentioned in the Bible. Then, like the Nilo-Saharans, you don't even see any name of these groups of people in the Bible. And then a lot of the Niger-Congo people, they gonna say the same thing. In the Holy Bible, there's a whole lot of people that you don't know about. The Indo-Europeans gonna say the same thing. Say you find in the Holy Bible you're a Hittite, Indo-European. But you know what? It's a whole lot of people that consider to be Indo-European you not find out about. Then that's not mentioned in the Holy Bible. And then there's a lot of other people on this earth that's not mentioned in the Holy Bible. See? It's a lot of events, not just a flood. It's a lot of events you don't see evidence of. Earthquakes, other floods all over the earth. You won't see evidence of. But Jesus said, love God with all thy heart. The information that you do have is evidence that God is the God yesterday, today, and tomorrow. That God that gave you the 10 Commandments. You believe in that God. You believe in that God. And the information that you do have is true. It's true. To love God with all thy soul. Nicodemus asked Jesus a question. How can a man be born again? See, you got to believe in Jesus Christ. You got to believe, you got to love God all thy soul. Nicodemus asked Jesus, how can a man be born again? See, you got to love God with all your soul. See, and you got to love God with all thy mind. What do that mean? If I gotta love God with all my heart, I got to love God with all my soul. I gotta love God with all my mind. See, we living in a time, day and time, we far away from the original church, and that church persecuted. And we read about in the book of Acts, that church persecuted. When you say persecute, what that mean? It means like genocide, ethnic cleansing. It means atrocity. That's what it means. Including the mother of Jesus, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God. Mary, a victim of persecution. You have to love God all thy mind. See, when you read your Bible, and you know, like you say, what if all people live in peace? Would you use your mind to build an army, Navy, Air Force, Special Forces, Marine Corps, being all out in space, for self-defense purposes? Outer space is being used for self-defense all around the world. The United States government use satellites for self-defense. The Russians, they use outer space for self-defense. And NATO use outer space for self-defense. The Chinese, they use outer space. You see what I'm talking about? You use your mind. So to love Jesus, to love God with all thy mind. If you love God, with all thy mind, would you be doing all this to defend yourself? And why you gotta pollute the earth, water, ground, and noise pollution? See, when you being in business, the corporations, the companies, you in business, do you think the businesses would be managed differently? Of course they would. A lot of the products you produce, I don't want the women to get all, Victoria's Secret. Let's get straight, let's be spiritual for a moment. We don't have to be carnal all of, Victor for the women and the man for a man to try to influence the women to wear Victoria's Secret in the house, in private, in privacy, not out in public, but in private. The way you design the clothes, the way you wear your clothes, the way a man dress. Of course, you love God with all that mind. Of course. Would our society even be designed the way it is? Where the children go to school the way they go to no. Would you even interact with the men and the women? Would you even interact with each other in that way? No, we wouldn't. And talking about adults and children or a child how we interact with children and a child, it'll be different if we all adhere to God's word and love God with all thy mind. No. Can you imagine the AIDS virus, the HIV? How can all the people on the earth live on earth in the past? Listen to this. Let me give you an example. Think about this. Think about it. We all been living on this earth. Now the AIDS virus, HIV, is one of those sexually transmitted diseases. Think about that now. I want you to listen. That you love God. Think about in the past how people live on this earth. We all been living on this earth. You ain't even seen no AIDS virus, HIV. When the people stop having sex, they've been having sex. But look what happened. There was a certain period of time in human history. You have an AIDS virus, HIV. There was a time in human history when you didn't have an AIDS virus and HIV. And don't leave. I'm not leaving out homosexual in the past, as if human beings just start having sex. But there was a certain period of time in human history when you have an AIDS virus, HIV, and that's a reason. It's because man became, it ain't like when you want to commit sin then, because Jesus had to tell you during his lifetime not to do those things. But there wasn't no HIV, there wasn't no AIDS. See, you love God with all thy mind. With all thy mind. And what else? He said, and this is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor. You see what I'm talking about? That's the reason why it's just like the first. As thyself, it's just like the first. When you say thou shalt love thy neighbor, as thyself. Because all that loving God, all your heart, all thy soul, and all thy mind. Just read right out of the code, it's wrong. It's wrong. Because you ain't supposed to lie to your neighbor. Just straight to the point. You ain't supposed to lie to yourself. You got a code, it's a lie. You ain't supposed to lie to yourself, and you ain't supposed to lie to your neighbor. Straight to the point. Again, the greatest commandment in the law is Matthew chapter 22, verses 35 through 40. Mark chapter 12, verses 28 through 31. And Luke chapter 10, verses 25 through 28. It's the same. Basically, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, telling you the same thing. Right there. Basically telling you the same thing. That occult religion is wrong. It's wrong. And you should know that is wrong. You should know by now that saying Christian, that's wrong. You're not a Christian. That's an insult. You should know by now. See, this is something that you shouldn't even not know. The general public should already know that was an insult. It's a racial slur. The people at the United Nations, they'll tell you the same thing, so I don't know what you're trying to argue about. At the United Nations, they're going to tell you the same thing, that when you hear somebody say Christian, what you call a slur or something like that, somebody call you an insult. That's what that is. So I don't know what you're trying to argue about. You ain't got nothing to argue about. See, the reason why it was wrong. Remember Mark, in the book of Acts, chapter 10, 13. I think it was Acts chapter 13, verse number 10. Mark went back to Jerusalem. This was after you heard the word Christian. He went back and told Mark in Acts chapter 13, verse 10. Mark went back to Jerusalem. He went and told. And then in Acts chapter 15, verse number 2, you had to come back. You got to come back to Jerusalem. You got to come back to Jerusalem. That's the reason why I was wrong. You being called back to Jerusalem because you did something behind the apostles' back. The apostle was talking about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God. Then you get called back to Jerusalem. Acts chapter 15, verse 2, that was the end of that Christian stuff. That was the end of it. No such thing as being a Christian. No such thing. You should know by now. The general public should know that was wrong. But again, the sorority and fraternity go around the line. So read your Bible. Your Holy Bible is God's Word. Read your Bible, Holy Bible. It's holy, consecrated. That what religious persecution means is being desecrated. Desecrating our faith. You understand? So what I'm going to do before I end my video, we're going to go to Mr. Sam Cook's autopsy, coroner's report, and what I'm going to do today, we're going to go to the police officer coming to investigate the officer. And like I said, as I stated earlier, Mr. Barilla is the representing district attorney for the area office. And Mr. Maychick is the attorney representing Miss Barbara Kimball Cook, the wife of the deceased Mr. Sam Cook. F.L. Thomas being first duly sworn testifying upon the coroner. Please state your name, F.L. Thomas, and your occupation of police officer for the city of Los Angeles, assigned to 77th Street Detectives. So this is Mr. F.L. Thomas. Now he's an investigator. Now Mr. Cook, he was the other police officer on the scene. You know, he the one who interviewed Bertha Lee Franklin. Now, like I said, this is another police officer, F.L. Thomas, from the 77th Street Detectives. And did you investigate this episode? Yes, sir. So he's an investigative officer. And during your investigation, did you determine how many shots were fired in the manager's apartment at the motel which, according to the bullets in the gun given to me by the uniformed police officers with an S, there were 3 empty cartridges and 3 live rounds. We were only able to find 2 of the projectiles. One was in Mr. Cook and the other one had struck the ceiling above the bedroom door and had fallen to the vine on the west side of the room. And were you present when the body of Mr. Cook was searched by the coroner about part of the time? Yes, sir. And what property, if any, was recovered from Mr. Cook at the time? I recall a wristwatch. I believe it was a Mega brand. There was a money clip and $108 and some change, and I believe there was a couple of miscellaneous cars or something. I don't recall anything else at this time. Did you later have a conversation with a witness by the name of Bowman? Yes, sir, I did. And did you have that conversation at the motel? Where the police, this was held at the 77th Street Police Station shortly after. You heard Ms. Boyer's testimony to this inquiry. Did she tell you substantially the same as she has testified to? Yes, sir. And did you or your fellow officer later recover the rest of Mr. Cook's clothing? Yes, sir. And where was that clothing recovered? It was pointed out to the previous officer, Mr. Cook, by Ms. Boyer, not in my presence. It was under a stairway in an apartment house between 9137 South Figueroa and 97th Street. And to your knowledge, was there any property in the clothing? Not to my knowledge, no, sir. Were pictures taken of the manager's motel at 9137 South Figueroa? Right. Yes, sir. And do you have some of the pictures with you that depict the area? Yes, sir, I do. Would you please describe the pictures for the benefit of the record and pass the same to me by the number? The first, number 1, shows a view of the manager's office in the left portion of the picture and around as far as apartment number 2, which includes apartment number 1. This picture is facing in an easterly direction. Now what this testimony is about, it was some pictures that Officer Thomas and the other officer took of the location. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna scroll, he asked a question, the coroner asked a question, was Mr. Cook pronounced dead at the scene? Yes. Prior to my arrival, what penal code section refers to in episodes such as this? 197, would you read this section or subsection this? 197 of the penal code is entitled justifiable homicide. By other person, homicide is also justifiable when committed by any person in either okay when resisting any attempt to murder any person or to commit a felony or to do something greatly great bodily injury upon any person, or when committed in defense of habitation, property, or person against one who manifestly in terms or endeavors by violence or prior to commit a felony, or against one who manifestly intends or endeavors in a violent, rising, or tumultuous manner to injure the habitation of another for the purpose of offering violence to any person therein. Is there any additional information? Now, Mr. Thomas, he was investigating. Okay, the close on. Now, Mr. Thomas, this is the evidence about the gun. Mr. F.L. Thomas, the police officer, he said, we took the gun equipped to ballistics, and there were 2 test shots fired. These were compared with the bullet removed from the body of Mr. Cook, and the test bullets had the same characteristics. That is, the lanes and grooves had a left-hand twist. There was an examination made also on the stick. The club is there is a red substance visible. However, this substance is paint or some other substance other than blood. However, pushing stick near the end where nothing is visible to show the cause of reaction to the benzodine test. Now, it says here, there were fingerprints taken from Ms. Franklin and Ms. Bowyer for an accurate record check, and investigators revealed that there is no criminal record for either one. There were polygraph tests run for both Ms. Franklin and Ms. Bowyer, and the tests indicated their stories were true. I went to the communication station of our police department and called a call to the police department recorded on their tape. I located the 2 calls involved in this case and re-recorded them on tape, which I have here. And then, okay. Now this is the testimony. Now this is Officer Thomas, the investigator. This is about the phone call that Miss Bowyer made to the police station. Now, you know, Mr. Sam Cook had a business partner named Mr. Alexander. Now, Mr. Maycheck asked a question. He asked a question. Did you by any chance trace the occupation of the girl Lisa Bowden? Will you talk a little louder, please? I'm sorry, did you trace the occupation of the girl Lisa Bowden? The coroner. We are not concerned with the occupation of Miss Bowden, Mr. Maycheck. So as you can see, when they asked Officer Thomas, this is what I want you to pay attention to, what the court did. When the court asked the police officer about that homicide, that was wrong. That's wrong. You should already know that the district attorney should already know by law that stuff about that dope. And when you hear Bertha Franklin give her testimony, you can't keep Mr. Sam Cooke. You can't push Mr. Sam Cooke down. And you can't run and grab a gun and shoot Mr. Sam Cooke. That is not justifiable homicide. That dope is irrelevant. See, the police at that time, the only testimony they had was just the testimony that Miss Franklin gave to the officer. When Bertha Franklin testified in the coroner's inquest, she gave a little more testimony. That's what that means. That's the difference. It's similar to her testimony. It's a little similar. It's a little more detailed. You know what I'm saying? She gave a testimony to the officer Cook. But then when she go into the inquest, she get asked questions. And then she have to go a little to more detail because you're in front of a jury. And then you start adding stuff in. Lady, you shot me and all that. But what we're gonna do now, we're gonna get ready to end the day, then we're gonna come back on Officer Thomas. But you know they did do ballistic on the gun. So it ain't really just no issue on that. But they justified homicide. Oh no. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Based on testimony, hell no. They don't get away with it. When Bobby Chemical ain't got nothing to worry about. But it means that you're a criminal. That there was some criminals in the courtroom. That's evidence right there. When I heard the coroner ask the police officer, you injected to the police officer. The police officer not an attorney. That's what it means. It's like the coroner's telling like you didn't correct the police officer. The police officer can assume, you can assume whatever you want. And then as an attorney, you projecting to the police, what is this evidence of justifiable homicide? Yeah. That's wrong. That's wrong. You're not supposed to project anything to irregardless. Once we get into a court of law, because Mr. Maycheck supposed did his job with Officer Thomas and about this justifiable homicide. Ain't no way in hell no jury supposed to rule a justifiable homicide. Because it's not. It's not. See, when you read Officer Thomas, and when the coroner asked him a question about that stripping on the door, that was wrong. And see, this is what the Supreme Court, the Criminal Court of Appeals, gonna say the same thing. Is when you have Officer Thomas on the stand, and when you hear him ask a question about that stripping on the door, you telling Officer Thomas, is that you projecting justifiable homicide out there, and the police officer is not an attorney to say no, to disagree. Man, you being a coroner is like the officer see you as somebody that know what they talking about. So when you project it out there, is this evidence of justifiable homicide? You ask me a question, what make you think Officer Thomas gonna say no? Officer Thomas is like, well, based on being a police officer, my training, okay, Mr. Sam Cook tore the door down. Forcible entry, yeah. But that ain't no justifiable homicide. Based on the law, the definition of the law, no. Because again, Mr. Sam Cook walked right past Bertha Frank. And see, in the Criminal Court of Appeal, this is the number one issue. I'm gonna keep on saying over and over again. At the moment when Mr. Sam Cook tore that door down, and Bertha Frank was there, Mr. Sam Cook walked right past and went straight into the kitchen. And then after he went into the kitchen, went into the bedroom, that's over with. See, when you claim that somebody trying to hurt you, and when you say the definition of force, justifiable, Mr. Sam Cook wasn't trying to hurt you. If he had tore the door down and went straight toward Bertha Franklin and started whooping the shit out and damn near killed, you could have had a claim, you possibly could have had a claim that Mr. Sam Cook was trying to kill Bertha Franklin. But when he tore the door down, in his mind, the intent, in his mind, he was looking for that girl. He was still looking for that girl. In the Criminal Court of Appeals, they're gonna hear you. And you ain't gonna get away with it. What's wrong with you? What the coroner said is wrong. See, in a court of law, this is what Mr. Maycheck supposed to object. Mr. Maycheck supposed to stood up and say, objection. Your Honor, you can't do that to Mr. Thomas on the witness stand. You supposed to stand up and say, well, Your Honor, objection. Leading the witness. Not making a leading question. You asking a question with an answer. Is this justifiable homicide? Mr. Thomas, is this justifiable homicide? He a police officer. He not an attorney. He not Mr. Barilla, the district attorney. Mr. Barilla, is this justifiable homicide? I'm the district attorney. I'm Mr. Barilla. You asking me, is this justifiable homicide? Are you crazy? But you gonna ask a police officer on a witness stand, is this evidence of justifiable homicide? Yes. Mr. Maycheck post stood up. Objection. This is not just, we're gonna come back tomorrow. then just a few of the free logos designed with it, and you can go to my anti-gang logo. I'm gonna get ready to end today's video. And again, thank God for all the blessings God provides us all with. And always put God first. And don't listen to these people, these sorority fraternities on the street. And then you have to remember some of these people that's in the sorority fraternity, they never, they not college educated, but the majority, to have influence, the majority of the people in the sorority fraternity have a bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD, the alumni. But they do have people in the sorority fraternity who are not college educated, and they be out on the street. The Justice Department, Homeland Security, the Equal Employment Opportunity Office, Administration, the Department of Veterans Affairs. We can go on, Immigration and Customs. You know damn well the Immigration and Customs, you got to have a degree, because they have to deal with the law all the time about immigration and about customs. You know damn well you got to have a goddamn degree. Come on now. You know you got to have a damn law degree to work over there. Immigration and Customs. What's wrong with you? And the ATF, the alcohol, tobacco, and firearm. You know doggone well. How you gonna deal with alcohol without a degree? Tobacco, firearm. You gonna deal with firearm without a degree? You know you gotta deal with the Constitution. What's wrong with you? You know doggone well you can't get a job at the ATF without having a degree, because you gotta deal with the Constitution all the time. You gotta deal with the Constitution all the time, every day. You gotta be with the NRA. Do you see the ATF and having to come and have the NRA, having to deal with the NRA every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then tobacco, the big tobacco company. Do you see tobacco? You know doggone well that you gotta have a law degree. You gotta deal with these big tobacco companies. Alcohol, same thing. Come on now. And then some of these Homeland Security, the FBI. Are you crazy? You think you ain't gotta have a degree to work at the FBI? And they don't know nothing about the Constitution. That the parliament just don't know nothing about the Constitution, about that occult leaders. You is crazy. You crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. Again, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also on BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis, County City, State of Texas. Thank all my family, my hope they continue Chris. And like I said, always put God first. And don't forget the United Nations. They ain't tell nobody to be using no occult news. They got more education than the people in the sorority fraternity alumni. That's all the people over there. UNESCO, UNICEF, the World Health Organization. Man, come on. The whole United Nations, that's all the people on the earth. They got way more educated than some stupid fool over there at Hampton University. Some stupid fool over there at Yale University. They got way more education going on, so you're going to get your ass killed, I'm telling you. Until next time, take care of yourself. With each and one a little bit. And remember, Mr. Sam Cooke, it was not justifiable homicide. It was first degree murder. And Mr. Sam Cooke will get justice in the courtroom. And my thoughts and prayers are with his widow, Ms. Barbara Campbell Cooke, his two beautiful daughters, Linda and Tracy. All of Mr. Sam Cooke, his mother and father passed away. Sister and brothers, and niece and nephew, all his family, all his Mr. Sam Cooke and her children, all his grandchildren, Miss Barbara, grandchildren, his friends, the Highway QC, and Mr. Lou Rawls, and so many other people who were friends with Mr. Sam Cooke. It will be just in that courtroom. That's what I'm working on. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. It's gonna be just in that courtroom. You owe Miss Barbara Campbell Cook a lot of money, I'm telling you.